Welcome to Lesson 3. This is Part 5 of 5 parts. Be sure you have completed all videos for prior segments of this lesson before watching this one. When we assign someone to work more than the hours of any of their work periods, for example days or weeks, we have overallocated them. In this segment, we're going to look at one simple way to resolve this issue. Let's use this as an opportunity for review as well. Using one of the 3 methods we've looked at so far, go ahead and assign Ted Partham to help Henry Marcos with channel sales prep. Note that when you complete the assignment, a red indicator informs you that Ted is overallocated. He has been assigned to work 100% of the time on planning Davina's travel, and 100% of the time on channel sales preparation. First of all, if an action button appears, go ahead and make the choice to reduce the duration. We're expecting that Ted and Henry can contribute equally to the project. While this reduces overall duration of the task, it does not solve the issue of overallocation. In some cases, some minor overallocation may be acceptable. For example, the resources involved may simply be able to work overtime. But being 200% allocated is a serious overallocation, so we need to figure out a way to handle this. You may recall that when we talked about dependencies, we discussed the fact that there may be resource dependencies we need to add to our project because we do not have immediate availability of resources. We may also need to add a resource dependency when a resource is overallocated and we do not immediately have a better resource to assign. This means we may need to add a finish to start dependency between planning the author's travel and setting up channel sales. When you add the dependency, the red figures disappear as the overallocation is resolved. There are other ways we can resolve overallocated resources, but they are beyond the scope of this segment. We did solve an immediate issue, and since the tasks are not on the critical path, we didn't impact the overall project duration positively or negatively. Now let's go ahead and review the navigation. Let's start as usual on our Gantt chart view. We'll click on Channel Sales Prep. Next, we click on Resource Names. I need to pull the pane over just a little bit to access the drop-down. We'll add Ted Partham, since he is going to help Henry. Notice when we close it, we have both overallocation on the left, and we have a little yellow button on the right. So we'll click on the little yellow button first, and we want to reduce the duration, but keep the same amount of work as we've done before. Now let's resolve the overallocation. And again, the way we were going to do that was to add a dependency. We have several ways we can add the dependency. For example, we can type a number in the predecessors or successors column. We can bring up the task information box and do it there. Or we can simply hover over the task of plan author's travel, and when we see it change form, drag down, link it, and now you'll notice the overallocation goes away. So that completes our Lesson 3 videos. Now it's time for you to practice. Assign Ted and remove the overallocation. When you are done, resave your file. At the end of your practice, you should have an entry table that looks like this. Note the resource assignments are in place from this and the previous segment, and there are no over-allocated resources. The Gantt chart should look something like this. And finally, your project duration, work, and costs should reflect this statistics view. Note that the work didn't change. However, since we assigned 2 resources to complete some of the tasks, the costs increased slightly. Thank you for viewing the 5 Lesson 3 videos. When you have finished practicing with the user interface, be sure you take the quizzes and interact on the discussion board as required. Remember, you need to view all 3 lessons and complete the quizzes and discussion board assignments before the next class.